Okay, I wanted to do this quick video, and I know you say, oh, you can't ever do a quick video, Kelly, but this is a majors only deck, so it actually will be quick. But I wanted to, you see, I think a lot of people who love Il Menegalo decks, and we're kind of, obsessed with them and love them so much, and there's a reason for that. Like, if you look at this gorgeous deck, so this is a majors only version of the Corte dei, I don't know if it's Tarot or Tarocchi because the seal is on it. We'll see when we open it up. And Miss Jamie Loom had the majors only as well as the full version, and she sent me her majors only version of it because she ended up getting the full version. And I am so excited. I had expected, it to have been opened, but it is not open. And you can see, like this, a lot of his decks will come in boxes. So, for example, my adored Neoclassico is in a box, right? This, of course, is a majors only, and it's all wrapped like this, but look at it. Now, I have absolutely zero, look at the seal. So you have wax here that's on, there's a little piece of wax, I think, up here on this rope. And so the last thing I want to do is rip this open, and yet that's the only way to open it. Look, it's like the folds are obviously underneath this card here, so I don't want to do that though. So I'm going to try to very carefully cut this open. I will scissor trim this away. I just want to keep this packaging intact. That's all. That's all. Okay. I will trim it up and show you. Oh, please come out. Oh no. Come on. Come on. Oh, there they go. There we go. Something else in here. There. And, oh, that is I don't want to take that out because there's actually a sleeve in there. So this is like a, folded, so that's good because I can kind of slide that out and trim that up and slide it back in. Oh no. Okay, so that and that goes like that. They're very skinny cards, as you can see. So now and now we've got, turn my phone off. Okay, now that the dangerous part is over, oh, look at these. So this is La Corte dei Tarocchi. The art is by Anna Maria. And I will put her name in the description box below so that you can see that. This is the backings, which are, you've got kind of what we see here, but just in a faded, kind of a faded effect here. The paper is gorgeous, and by gorgeous, I mean gorgeous. It is thicker than the Neoclassico and more textured. It's a really, I thought this was textured, and you can definitely feel it, but compared to this, this deck feels smooth. That's how textured this cardstock is. Absolutely gorgeous. But that's, you know, that's par for the course for Il Mini Gala decks, is to be absolutely gorgeous. So let me scroll in here. So again, this is just the majors. You can get this as a majors only, or you can get this as a full deck. And so I will make sure to put that in the description box if you're looking for the full deck walkthrough. This is not one of them, but I still wanted to look at it anyways, because look at how sweet this is. Look at this little face and the little bag here. We've got the moon. We have, of course, El Mato. We have very sweet dog here. It's just gorgeous. Can we just talk about that stamp again? Oh, sorry. So here we have the Fool. The Magician. He's got kind of a wonderful mustache going on here. We have the 4 elements represented. El Bagato. We have the infinity sign on his little hat. Wand in hand, cup. Here we have knives or swords, and here we have coins on the table. Oh, the texture is divine. Here we have the Papessa. We can see her with a book. Look at the little owl, and the moon, which we can see on here, is up here with this beautiful, like, little blossomed tree here. She looks to have perhaps moons along here, and maybe in here. I'll be interested when I look back. We can definitely see the 3 moons in her, on top of her head, and she's got the book in hand. So this would be the High Priestess. Here we have the Empress with her shield, as we would typically see in older style decks, and her scepter of rulership. I love the red here, and she even has like angel wings going on in the background. Here we have the Emperor, and again he has his kind of that circle of power, which is what is on the top of her staff. You don't see a shield in his. Very medieval style art. Now this is not an old deck. This is a artist deck. I will again put the exact information in the description box so you can check it out. But this is not an old deck. It's just a gorgeous, done in that sort of medieval style. Here we have El Papa, or the Hierophant. And we can see, you know, the staff that we would come to see. We can see supplicants here, which look like little bald children, but they are adorable. I like the blues in his cloak here, or his outfit. It's just beautiful. So we can see the title here, as well as the number in Roman numeral that we have up until there. Up until this one, they've been on the left hand side. This one is on the right hand side. Here we have the Lovers, Gli Innamorati. Number 6, we can see Face in the Sun, and we have the lovers here, very simple lovers, but so much detail in the grass and such, and just detail and texture, again, of the painting. Oops, now I'm going to have them all. Well, it doesn't matter because we'll be shuffling them next. Here we have the Chariot with the horses literally going in different directions. They almost look to be connected together in the middle, one going this way, one going that way. And we have the faces on the shoulder. We have the canopy of stars and the 4, you know, kind of pillars behind. He's got a scepter in hand. He's got stars on his crown. You can almost see as if it's like worn gold gilding. It is not reflective any more than the rest of the paint, but it almost looks like maybe it's old style gilding. Look at how gorgeous Justice is. She has her scales. Again, you see this very similar style of clothing, where you have that sort of over robe almost like, with then a different like dress beneath it that you see, not so much there in the Empress and the Emperor, but you certainly see it in the Hierophant, or El Papa, sorry, and the Lovers as well. It almost gives it a little bit of an Asian feel to it. And we have the little, like the fringe hanging on it. But here she has her sword and she has her scales. Look at this Hermit. I love this. I love the city on the hill in the background that he's walking away from. He has his lantern here. I think it's just gorgeous, but that, I just love that. And again, because of the paper and of course because of the paper that it was painted on, there's just a lot of texture in the painting, even though it is more of that flat kind of medieval style art. Here we have the Wheel of Fortune with the kind of, there's a name for this, where you have the face of a man. That's described in the Bible also, I think. It's kind of a sphinxy, I guess you would call it, but we have a lion and a like eagle and a face of a man here. And we've got the claws. More like of an eagle. I don't know if it's called a griffin. No, griffin wouldn't be that. There's a name for that, I'm sure. And then here we have, sometimes it's a monkey and a rabbit, but I don't know. I'm not sure what animal that's supposed to be. But you've got little animals on it for the wheel. Here we have the Force. So we have not a bear, because of this long tail. Not a lion, I don't think. I'm not quite sure what that's supposed to be. I'm assuming it's supposed to be a lion. Again, I really do like their faces and their facial expressions, and they have this interesting clothing choices here. Oh, look at this one. She's not really prying his mouth open either, which I don't generally like. I mean, he definitely has grabbed hold of one of his ears, it looks like, and going for his mouth maybe, but there's not that. Sometimes in the Force cards, you'll have quite a struggle with the animal, which you're not really seeing here. This is very childlike, right? Compared to even, it almost looks like a little child hanging upside down with the cutest little bird you ever saw. Because even these people, they look like full-grown adults. They're very kind of have a childish simplicity that's really gorgeous, but they look like adults, where this one almost looks like a little child in the Hangman, with just the way the boot is, and we have the little birds there, so it feels very childlike, almost innocence, and almost like clovers and growing in the trees. So definitely it's not a dark hangman at all. It just seems like he's just hanging there, getting us some perspective. I love the smiling skull. So we have a very traditional Marseille type of a death with harvesting of the body parts in the ground. But he looks quite like he's almost getting ready to dance. And we have the smiling skull. We do have also a crown here. Sometimes you'll see items instead of body parts, and here you have a little bit of both, which is an interesting thing. Here we have Temperance with a little bit of the angel wings in the background. We have the two pots. We have sort of a fountain, almost kind of connecting it with the waters of the cups there. Again, that same sort of beautiful little overrobe. Here we have El Diablo. Look how creepy he is. He looks like he's sneaking around, being all creepy, standing up on a block. What's interesting, though, is that they are chained, and they're chained rather tightly, right? That doesn't look so like they'd be super easy to pull off the top of their head, but look at the rock has actually looks like it has split. So I think that they definitely have that where you could, they could pull that chain free should they take back their power. Here we have the tower, quite typical. We have a flag or a standard that has falling off. We've got the lightning, we've got the fire flames there, we've got the top that's going to fall off, and we definitely have two people. Now sometimes in decks you can see, you know, like it's a rich person and a poor person. Tower moments don't, you know, are not... They're equalizers. It doesn't really matter if you're well-born with lots of money or low-born in the peasantry. These tower moments can hit all of us. They've kind of done the same thing with they're both naked, right? They're just, everybody's on equal playing field when the towers hits. I love the star in this one. Look at the little bird. And pouring... This one looks to be mostly pouring both into water. Sometimes you'll see the star pouring one on land and one in water. This one looks to be both in water, although it looks like she's standing right on the water as well. And again, it's almost got that look of like faded gilding on the actual stars. Here we have, you know, I'm not fond of faces and moons. We have a kind of quirky face. I do like the pattern of the moon. I'm totally blanking. The phases of the moon. Sorry, I do like to see the faces of the moon. They all have little faces, and I could do without that face there. We have actually quite cute little lobster-y looking thing. And we have the two dogs here. We can see the towers, white and black in the background as well. So you can see it's really a sweet deck. Again, here we have what looks to be children. Beautiful, actually, sun. I do quite like the sun face more than the moon face. A little village here in the background, and we have two children, although it's interesting because she looks a little concerned and he looks to be screaming at her, but I'm sure that's not what's going on. He is just very confident and trying to get her to be confident as well, perhaps. Here we have Judgment, very typical with the angel blowing the horn, and we have the souls rising up for judgment. It's time to assess what has gotten them there. And then that takes us to the World card, where we have, it looks to be standards, like that is definitely looks to be a bull, and maybe a griffin or something like that over here, and we've got an eagle over here and a person. You know how you normally have, I can't remember what that is, I'll have to pull out a regular world card, where you have a human, I think an eagle, a bull, and a lion perhaps. Maybe that's supposed to be a lion. So you have the things that would be in the four corners, but instead we actually sort of have a city here, like maybe you know, a main city in Italy or Spain, or where. I think this may be Spanish deck. I'll have to look up who she is. But there we have the World card. So that is, because this is majors only, and I really don't have a majors only deck. I have one that's an Oracle deck of dragons. That kind of, there's one that relates to them all, but it's technically an Oracle deck, whereas this is obviously specifically a major. So it's kind of nice because there are times in which you may want to pull out majors only, or pull from majors only, and not having to have to. It's got a beautiful shuffle to it. They're very thick cards, so I can imagine that 78 cards would be quite a stack of cards. I know I've seen Elle from Sacred Seed. She, I know, has all the full review of the full deck that you can take a look at. And I know it looked quite large in her hands. So these are, if you think of a typical, like this is a Los Scarabeo deck. It is taller and very skinny. It's very thin. It's even thinner than, say, here's the maybe Lenormand. And you can see it's even skinnier than this would be a bridge size, I would guess, deck. So it's a very skinny, tall deck. It's not a normal configuration. But the cardstock is absolutely gorgeous. Now with the majors only like this, I would definitely not be doing, say, a 9 or 10 card. This is something I would probably just do a 3 card on. I'm going to take the split. I'm going to take the part that's split on this side, the actual split, and then the bottom. So here we have the Fool, El Bigato, the Magician, and we have the World card. And then for me, you definitely, I mean, I'm not even going to attempt. You could very carefully, right, not like rifle, more like drop rifle them, but I wouldn't do it myself because they feel so wonderful, squishy to shuffle. So I would look to the middle. So you have everything that you need in order to manifest what it is that you want to manifest, but you need to go at life. Approach this manifestation from an open hole with the heart wide open as the Fool, like ready to take on this adventure. You need to approach it this way, but also pause for a moment and take stock of where you are and how you've gotten there before you do that, because if you do that taking stock, you know, then you can move forward much more easily with chest wide open, as they say. So so it's just gorgeous. I mean, it's a absolutely stunning deck, and again, it's so lovely to have a majors only deck like this to work with. Let me just 1 second. Okay, I cleaned up this. I just kind of slid this out and cleaned up the edge of that, so that we'll see if I can get it back in or not. This probably isn't really, really feasible. Not sure why a couple of the cards don't feel like they want to go in. There we go. There we go. There. So I am able to get it. I just kind of trimmed that up and cleaned that up because it's just, again, it's just so beautiful. I just didn't want to really destroy that. And so then I have, of course, again, this box from Hobby Lobby that I got for $8 that looks, the length just fits it perfectly. And then, of course, now I don't have to worry about that falling out. I don't know whether or not you could use this for the full deck, because now if you didn't have this packaging with the full deck, and you wouldn't have this packaging, but it does, you know, you still have room up in the top as well. So this may work for that. I'm not sure if you have a Hobby Lobby nearby you or not. It's got a little latch like that, or $8.99. It is 6 by 3.25 by 2.25. So we'll take that off. And then you can get these for 40% off. So it's $8.99, but then you can get that for 40% off of that. So it's really a beautiful but also quite cost-effective way to keep a precious special deck like this. So thank you so much, Jamie. I absolutely love it, and I'm looking for it. Doesn't have minors for our March of the Pips, but I am going to do my reading for today with this deck because I can't help it. I have to do it, right? It's just one of those things, and that's okay. Sometimes you can break even your own rules. So thank you for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed this, and this has been a look at La Corte dei Tarocchi published by Il Minigallo. And again, I will have a link to it and the artist's name in the description box below.